Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier, brought to you on YouTube. Head over there, smash that subscribe and bell notification button. Audio versions of the show are available through Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever you pick up audio versions of the show. And we can also be contacted on Gmail, the Upper Tier Podcast, Facebook and Instagram, the Upper Tier. We're out on Twitter at _upper_tier. And we're having a whole pile of fun at the moment out there. Darren, where are we having fun?
TikTok.
I see another few comments went up last night about your clip about Jack Harrison's hair, the poor chap. People weren't impressed at all. But sure, we're not here to impress anyone, only ourselves.
You think that was bad? Tune in next Monday. I'm really gonna have a fucking go at something.
Awesome. Well, this is kind of a fun show. Also joining me tonight, our resident referee, Mark. How are we?
How's it going, lads? Thanks for having me back.
Good. A fun show where we said we put together a combined 11 for players who have never won the Premier League. And just to let people know a little bit of housekeeping as well, next week we're going to be bringing you a combined 11 from players outside of the current top four, whatever that top four will be at the end of this weekend. So that should be an interesting one. We're also going to do an all-time Champions League one for the return of the Champions League. And we're also going to do a current season Champions League one as well, which I'm sure will deliver a lot of debate.
Can we play the music in the background when it's on?
We could, but
when I've a real tough day ahead of me, I get Alexa to wake me up with the Champions League music just to get me pepped and ready to go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, and my 4-year-old thinks, "Dad, you all right? You have that music on again? It's all right, sweetheart. Don't worry about it. No one fucking asked you."
Yeah. Are you able to change that to the Europa League for next season? No.
We'll be all right, kid. Don't you worry.
You just worry about yourselves.
Right, where do we begin on this? You two boys obviously being goalkeepers. I suppose we'll start at the back with the goalkeeper. Darren, kick us off with your goalkeeper. David J.
Delighted I could go for this lad. Because it ticks two boxes. It ticks the goalkeeper that I think was the best that didn't win a league. And it also ticks our Irish box, because no better goalkeeper in the Premier League that didn't win a medal than Shay Given. I have to tell you, he's absolutely top of the pops. What a goalkeeper, not just for Newcastle, Blackburn, City, but Ireland. Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable he was for us. And I'm starting with Shay Given.
Very nice. Mark?
Yeah, just before I start, lads, usually I have a United jersey behind me, but tonight, as you can see, I have a Blackpool jersey behind me. And the reason for that being is there's a fact about Blackpool in the Premier League. They've won the same amount of Premier Leagues as Stevie G. So that's why I have that there tonight.
They've never won a Scottish Premier League.
You have to be in it to win it, Yeah, like I was talking to you last night, Niall, I was doing a bit of tinkering. I was looking up, and there was loads of players going through my mind. There obviously Lee Martin, I had a few others, Shay Given as well. But I've actually gone
Steve Martin, was it?
Steve Martin?
Yeah.
Nigel Martin.
Or who was Lee Martin?
You said Lee Martin.
Come here, I went for Brad Friedel in the end, right? Because I used to love watching him when I was growing up. He could pull off all different types of saves. Like, remember a double save he pulled off against Arsenal the first season the Emirates opened. Unbelievable keeper, and he got a goal against Charlton as well. Just his longevity and just his style, I just thought he was brilliant. He's a great shot stopper. So I have him as my number one. And on the bench, I've gone for someone again I used to love watching growing up, but he looked like someone that you see down in Brickfields of a Sunday morning, and it's Neville Southall. I just thought he was a brilliant goalkeeper. But like I said, it looks like he had been out the night before. He's just shown up, had a smoke before the game, and jumped in goal,
Very, very funny story. Long time ago, when I was a little Man United fan,
in a galaxy far, far away.
Far, far away. The football team we played for got invited to play in a competition in Liverpool. And we went and play in this little competition, and we also got tickets to go and see Liverpool play QPR at Anfield,
Classic.
But while we were there, who was sitting in the row behind us? One Neville Southall. with his, I think it was his daughter, if I'm right, and he was there with his mate Sinbad from Brookside.
You can't write that.
And we were kids, and we were like, holy shit, it's Sinbad. Off the telly.
It was the guy with him.
And
Jimmy Cargill picked them up in the van after the match.
And it was him and Nev, and you were looking down, and someone said, Everton are playing on the Sunday, and I'm looking at this bloke going, is he playing football tomorrow, that bloke? Now, he was scruffy. When I tell you he was scruffy, he was, I think he still had Vaseline on his eyebrows before. He was that fucking scruffy. He had thrown pennies at the poor bloke, and he was getting ready to tog out the next day for Everton. But
when he showed up, he was unreal, wasn't he? Like
he was outrageous. Yeah, he absolutely was.
So yeah, he made me
and one in terms of longevity as well. I mean, he was between the sticks right until his mid-40s, I think it was.
Yeah, he went down to non-league and stuff like that. You want to see the size when he goes towards the end, but he's still unbelievable.
The red side of Liverpool would say he always played non-league, but I'm just putting that out there. Okay. Good one.
Who'd you got yourself?
Your turn now.
Right, I put Nigel Martin between the sticks because, like Darren as well, he has kind of an affiliation to our international team. As surprising as it is when he picks players, I've kind of a little affiliation to Leeds and all, and the Irish connections there and stuff like that. But I put Nigel Martin in. I thought he was a fantastic goalkeeper. And I did have Brad Friedel on the bench, and it was really a toss-up between the two. But I like good shout with Neville Southall. I do like that. It was a good shout. Yeah. He was one when I was doing a bit of research as well. He didn't come up much, but yeah, absolutely.
Just from back
because his picture wouldn't fit in the fucking screen. Sing it again, Slim.
No wonder no one could ever score. Talking about going out for a ball to make yourself big.
Just lie down, Neville. Just lie down.
Many a time he did. Didn't he have what was it, an NEC shirt at one stage?
Yeah,
and it was like a rip off. It was like a rip off of the United green one, but it had blue sleeves, didn't it, with a green body on it? Yeah.
He done a video years ago. My man and dad bought me a VHS for Christmas, and it was him doing goalkeeping skills. And young Mike Alone was actually the forward taking shots on the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper is absolutely terrible. Watch it on YouTube. It is absolutely hilarious. And he's trying to teach him. And the ginger head keeper, he's only about 12, but Michael Owen is pinging shots by him. It's hilarious.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen
it's
that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But no, he's a legend. He is a legend.
Our viewers are now wondering what a VHS is.
Yeah.
Right, Mark, kick us off with your back line.
We've gone for forward at the back. Your right full is a guy who kind of went under the radar. Like he always done a job for whatever club he was with, and it's Stevie Finnan. He's one of the only players that went from non-league and he played through every league, got to the Premier League, won a Champions League, and played in the World Cup final in 2002. So, like I said, he always done a job. He was kind of like Mr. Reliable as such, that type of way. And obviously, as a Liverpool fan, you can appreciate that. So he's my right full. Centre half. My first centre half is Marcel Desailly. Just what an unbelievable player! He's just, imagine going up against him. He looked like an absolute tree to get by. Like he's just, I think, didn't he leave and didn't they win it just 2 seasons later or something like that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so he obviously just left before Abramovich came in and things started working out. So beside him, I'm going for another Irish player. He had his best years in the Premier League, probably with Aston Villa. Obviously, back in the day, I loved watching him for Ireland. So it's Paul McGrath I have at the other centre half with Desailly. Just an unbelievable player, sober, drunk, whatever, he could do a job. And on my left full, I have Stuart Pierce, Psycho. What a player he was, just stuck in. That's the type of defender I love, just to put your body on the line, stuck in, and he was just a head case. That's me back four.
Good show, Darren.
So I've gone for a back four as well. I'll start the left back position because of a cultured left peg myself. So great set piece taker, nice cultured left foot, free kicks, corners, penalties, the whole shooting match. Other than at Old Trafford, because he missed one at Old Trafford one day. Leighton Baines. You won't be surprised to know that David De Gea was man of the match that day as well. No, I was at that game. It was ridiculous. It was like somebody had boarded the goal up and just like covered the boards in De Gea. So Leighton Baines is going in left back. I've gone with an all Chelsea centre back partnership here. One of the lads was in Marky's team. So again, French World Cup winner, Marcel Desailly. What a footballer. Played for AC Milan, played for Marseille. Just a super, super footballer. Very cool and calm on the ball and stuff like that, but really solid from a defending point of view. Was quick without looking quick. Just had a little turn of pace when he needed to. Really, really good. I suppose the only gripe I would have with Desailly is we didn't probably get to see his best years.
Definitely, exactly.
And I think the guy next to him is probably something similar. I've gone with Ruud Gullit as the other centre back. And Gullit again, played for AC Milan, played for Ajax and stuff like that. Was an unbelievable footballer, so cultured. Technically he was unbelievable. He was a leader on the pitch. He could spot a pass. There was nothing Ruud Gullit couldn't do. He was just silky, and he coined the phrase "sexy football," which means he's an absolute fucking walking legend, if you ask me. And again,
you have to be careful when you mention him and sex in the one sentence. I'm just saying, just putting that out there as well.
Do you remember the Dutch team of '88 that he was in with Van Basten and all that? That was just unbelievable looking back.
Van Basten's goal nearly from the corner peg.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And again, my only gripe with Ruud is that we didn't get the best of him. We only got to see him on his last legs. I think that's when the Premier League was starting to attract these aging footballers because commercially we had started to get the ball rolling and guys were seeing this as a great last payday, get an 18-month contract here, maybe get a couple of mil in the pocket, sign an on fee, and then just toddle off into the sunset,
He did leave on bad terms at the Premier League, didn't you? Remember his stint at Newcastle and him and Shearer and all fell out, and it kind of left a sour taste in people's mouths. But
let's be honest, who wouldn't fall out with Alan Shearer? Like,
the consistency with Shearer, isn't he falling out? That guy paddles his own boat.
I'd say he fell out with him over his hair. He was just jealous. He was like, why can't I have a deal like that? I'm going to keep beating my Ireland drum in that right back position. I'm going to make a statement and I'm going to say at one stage, not only was he the best right back in the Premier League, not to win a league winner's medal, he was the best right back in the Premier League at one stage. Stephen Carr, what a footballer. When Stephen Carr was at Spurs, he was absolutely hands down the best right back in the league. He was marauding up and down that right-hand side. Great delivery, scored a couple of screamers. He was tough in a tackle. He had an unbelievable engine on him. We obviously, as United fans, he was linked to us so many times. We thought we were maybe getting Carr. And then eventually he decided to pack it in and go to Newcastle. But that's for another day, isn't it, I suppose? But yeah, I've gone Stephen Carr, Marcel Desailly, Ruud Gullit and Leighton Baines.
Nice. Good show.
Thanks.
No problem at all.
Been working on this.
Yeah, absolutely.
All day.
I'll give you my back line then. Right back, I went for Jamie Carragher. Jamie out there on the right. My allegiance anyway.
Spoof.
In the middle also I had Marcel Desailly.
Spoof.
I had Marcel Desailly.
He's after taking Sammy Hoopy out just at the last minute and putting Desailly in there.
I didn't. I had Desailly in there all along. Who wouldn't? Beside Desailly, I had a man who had a couple of injuries, all right, but was a very, very good player when he was playing and on the top of his game. Ledley King, put him in there. Thought he was a super defender on his day.
Who?
Ledley King. He only retired a few years ago as well. He became an ambassador. And at left back, of course, I had Psycho Stuart Pierce. I just remembered the penalty miss, and then I remember then when he followed up and he scored the penalty and just running over to the crowd and he just wanted to chomp the head off some lad in the crowd. Nearly he was going ballistic. So that was my back four: Jamie Carragher, Marcel Desailly, Ledley King, and Stuart Pierce. Bit of a mention on the bench. 3 of those
are pretty good. Like,
yeah, I wasn't sure about Pierce. And on the bench I had Leighton Baines, in fairness. So that was my bench cover for the defence.
I'm holding me bench for later. Gonna play it like a trump card.
Nice.
When when I look like I'm in trouble and the river card is coming, I'm gonna go, and you're all gonna go.
Tell us what formation you went for here, by the way.
Went with a flat 4-4-2.
Okay, give us your midfield then.
Right, so midfield. This is an awkward moment, isn't it? I have to start off.
You're at home. You're at home because I think everyone will have this.
Is this a crossover? Is it from the
This
last?
is it. This is it might be. This is L. Wicka Slippy G on the decks. There's not a lot you can say.
Careful, he's behind you there.
Absolutely unbelievable. He wouldn't step into my kitchen, man. He knows what happened for breakfast. But what a footballer, you know, in fairness to the lad. Like, all allegiance put aside, Stevie J was as good in there as anybody. You know, he really, really was. I actually think it's a little unfortunate he didn't win a league winners medal. I think when you look at his career and the body of work he put in at Liverpool, and at times at Liverpool, he was in some bad football teams, but he was dragging them to a level where they were, you know, acceptable. He was just phenomenal. So I have a lot of respect for Stevie, I have to say. Next to him in centre midfield, I have another Liverpool stalwart, one Javi Alonso. What a pass for the football. Like, how many goals did he score from his own half? He has to be 4 or 5, isn't it? I definitely remember 4 or 5.
Yeah, he got one against Luton in the FA Cup. Then he got a few at home in Anfield.
Yeah, he was scoring them for fun at one stage. We're like, it's just another one from the halfway line.
Yeah.
You know, really, really clever footballer. And again, touches that little Irish thing, because obviously we've heard the stories of Javi Alonso. He spent a lot of time down in Meath in the summer, roughing it with the GAA boys, and that's what kind of lent itself to getting the foot put in there when the going got tough. You know, he was a good man in a tackle as well. Could spot a pass, struck the ball so cleanly. It was a little bit scary, like.
So he had that same kind of diagonal pass. They could pick anyone out.
And it wasn't a pass, it was a zip. Yeah. It was just like, and the ball, and you went, fucking hell, is that there already?
I'll sit back. I'm enjoying this kicking out.
Unbelievable.
Welcome to the Shankly session.
So Stevie and Javi Alonso go in there for me. On the right hand side, again, I'm gonna say the exact same thing I said about the two boys that played centre back, and he played for the same club as they did. A magician of a footballer, came in from Parma, just lit the Premier League on fire with his little one-touch finishes and his drag backs and his drops of the shoulder. My best mate growing up as a kid was a Chelsea fan, you know, and Chelsea fans didn't tend to have a lot to sing about for a long time. And then all of a sudden, Gianfranco Zola came in, and I was a keeper, and he was kind of a nippy little winger, this guy, my mate, you know. And he was always Gianfranco Zola, and I was always Peter Schmeichel, and it was just, what a footballer, you know. Gianfranco Zola on the right, Stevie G and Javi Alonso in midfield, and I'll just dust it off with a 3-time Champions League winner and an absolute horse on that left-hand side, Gareth Bale. Take a bow, my man. He, again, wasn't just, you know, the best player to not win a league title. At one stage, he was the best player in that league by a country mile, you know. That is my midfield for Bale, Stevie G, Xavi Alonso, and Gianfranco Zola. And thank you very much. What a fucking midfield that is.
Absolutely. Imagine being a forward playing in front of that four.
I've actually 2 RI forwards as well.
I know, but like, imagine being a forward. You'd nearly do it for free, wouldn't you?
You're fucking right, you would. Yeah. You'd be, pardon the pun, chomping at the bit. And you'll know why that pun is so funny when I name you 2 strikers.
You're shocking me
Justice forever.
Go ahead, Marco. Give us your midfield. What formation did you go with, by the way?
We're going 4-4-2 as well.
4-4-2.
But I have Airedale mate from last week, just sitting in front of the back four. Obviously, as I mentioned him there, Stevie G, he has to be in any kind of team like this, doesn't he, Luke? So, as it pains me to say, he's in 2 of my teams in the last week, so he must be doing something right.
It's the way I'm picking them.
Hey. On my left-hand side.
Next week, it's going to be the gaff team of the week.
No, the next one is
cost up the Premier League title.
your all-time combined 11 that won a league with Rangers and also won a Champions League in Istanbul.
I bet Motherwell under 12s. But no, on my left-hand side, I was going to go with Gareth Bale, but he's on the bench. For me, I picked this man because back in the day, you know, he used to glide along that left-hand side with the ball, and the pitches used to be in bits back then, and he was just unbelievable, crossing, taking on players, scoring goals. So I'm going with David Ginola.
I just knew who you're going for when you started talking about him. I was just
No, but what got me was, it was just, you look at someone like, I remember Spurs and Barnsley, the pitch was like a sandpit, and he just used to glide across the surface.
He picked up that ball at the halfway line with a little turn and dropped the first fella, and then went, that got goal of the season that year, remember? Yeah, that was ridiculous. And you're right, it was an absolute mud bath.
It was just, and he glided along, and that's why I picked him over Bale, because Bale, like, I'm a bit of an old school like that. The surfaces and all I was thinking. So David Ginola's on my left hand side. I just think he was brilliant.
Because he's worth it.
Yeah. In the middle with Gerrard, I've gone. Do you remember that?
He did the first L'Oreal ad of the hair. I'll tell you.
He's still a good looking dude. He was not a celebrity there, you know. In the middle with Stevie G, I've gone for Matt Letizia. Basically, last week we talked about Henry with the highlights reel. If you look at Letizia's career, his goals, it was just, remember the 2 goals against Newcastle and the Dale, and some of the goals he even scored against us. He just made it look so easy. He was a one club man. Big clubs came in for him at one stage. He said, no, I'm staying at Southampton. And again, he looked like someone that would play with me dad for the IGB on a Saturday morning, like, you know, that type of way. So yeah, he's just unbelievable. So I
know now why you have Stevie screen on the back 4.
Exactly.
Let's ain't getting back there, and he's on cover.
And on the right hand side, he generally played up front, but I have him in midfield and to squeeze him into the team. He's to me, he's a little maestro. He was unbelievable, and it's not Zola. I have him in the team, but not there. No, it's actually Peter Bearsley. I used to love watching him. Anytime he got the ball, you knew something was going to happen. Obviously, when he was with Newcastle, he was playing in front a lot. Then they bought Shearer, so they dropped him back into midfield. And just some of his passing was just unreal. Again, he went under the radar a little bit because the Shearer was the big signing then. So, but for me, he was just unbelievable. The goals he scores and the assists he got. So Peter Bearsley's in the midfield as well.
And I thought he went under the radar because he'd no neck, but obviously that wasn't it.
And in fairness, lads, when you look at it, I have 2 absolutely amazing looking wingers. David Ginola on one side, Peter Bearsley on the other side.
So you've got the L'Oreal with the beautiful hair, and then you've got the bald haircut on the other side.
That's like Disney have put that together. It's Beauty and the fucking Beast.
That's it. I tell you. So that's me midfield. On the bench, I have Bale, Alonso, and I have a player that is probably the best player that England has ever produced. But unfortunately, he left England just as the Premier League was starting. He came back and played for Everton. Probably not his best years, but I had to stick him in there anyway. It's Gaza. I had to put him in there.
Good shout. Well, I went with 4-3-3. So my 3-man midfield, Stevie obviously in the middle, Xavi Alonso on the left.
Can you complete the full house?
Gianfranco Zola.
I thought you were going to go Naby Keita.
No. Naby Keita's away at the AFCON. I couldn't include him. He isn't eligible.
No, I was going to go with Jorginho.
No. Easy now. Easy. I went with... is he not going to win the Premier League this year?
No, after last night. Go ahead.
I went Gianfranco Zola, Steven Gerrard, and Xavi Alonso, and on the bench I had Gareth Bale. So that was my midfield.
We're in
basically my midfield. You just fucking robbed that one.
I just changed the formation.
Jesus.
Here's Dazzler, last 2 nights sitting up doing his team, and you rob it at the last minute.
It's no need
getting it in just sometime an hour before kickoff, huh?
The most important thing when you are copying someone's work in school was to always get your copy on the desk first. Because if yours went up first, they always looked like they were ripping you off. But if they got their copy up first and you came after them, you'd know the shit was going to come down on you. Like, McCummsky, come here. All your answers are the same as your man sitting beside you. He was robbing them off me, miss.
Yeah, but see, my work will always be on the desk first because I'm the one who edits the shows. So I can do what I want with this. I'm always going to win. Darren, you have us here. You're chomping at the bit to give us your front men. So
chomping at the bit. I feel like taking a chunk out of my own shoulder here.
Bite the bullet, will you?
Bite the bullet. I've got to say, the only way I can introduce this guy is, I don't know if I've ever hated a footballer as much as I hate this guy. But in the same breath, I absolutely 110% respect this guy as a footballer. As a human being, I think he's an absolute degenerate.
Well, be careful. He's looking at your shoulder there right now, so be very careful.
He's eyeing it up, and there's plenty of meat on my shoulder. That's the problem.
Drift off a little bit there away from so you're out of position.
He's probably thinking, I wouldn't mind a bite of that shoulder. That looks meaty. Yeah, you know, we can argue till the cows come home again about this lad, about his on and off field misdemeanors. But the one thing you cannot argue with is he was a serious footballer. Chuy Suarez come to the top of the class. So I have Chuy Suarez in there being fed. Do you like that one? Boy, Gareth Bale, Gianfranco Zola, Stevie G, and Javi Alonso. And just if there wasn't enough trouble on that pitch, I have sprinkled a bit of religion in there as well. And I have God in there beside him, Robbie Fowler. Again, I kind of feel like how Robbie got stung in some of the Liverpool teams he played in, you know, because he was a fucking unbelievable footballer. He really, really was. On his day, Fowler was just unplayable at times. You know, we seen him as United fans. You know, we came to Old Trafford and he scored goals for fun. And then I even remember him sticking a bleeding free kick in against us at Anfield one day, and you were just thinking, this bloke can't do it, and he'd score again. But again, and there was a reoccurring theme across this, you know. A lot of these guys who are very, very good, you know, like Fowler maybe and Lettice and stuff like that, struggled to get into the England team. Leighton Baines couldn't get into an England team. Yeah. And all like really, really good footballers. And you're just thinking, Jesus, where is that good? He didn't fucking win it. Like
the man who paddles his own boat had it locked down, didn't he, Shearer?
You know, like unbelievable. Yeah. So I've gone with Fowler and Suarez up front for me. I'll give you my bench now if you'd like, Noel.
Go on, sure.
Honourable mentions. Matt Lettice, as Mark said, just a human highlight reel, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You know, could do everything, and you know, and most days he did it after 4 pies, which was even more impressive. Like,
and he ended up going out with Caprice at one stage. What was all that about?
She must have just wanted to rough it that weekend. Like,
it was the Instagram influencers before there was Instagram influencers.
I've gone for Lettice. I've gone for Luka Modric. I've gone for David Ginola. I've gone for Les Ferdinand, Robbie Keane, and a man we mentioned also last week on our combined team, which was the late great Gary Speed.
Absolutely.
And they are all glued together by the man at the helm, one David Moyes.
Jeez, I thought it was an American football team we were doing there. You had that many fucking honourable mentions.
Quality. One David Moyes doing a top job with their hammers. Unfortunately, they're going to get their trousers pulled down and get spanked at the weekend. But he's doing a great job with them. He was able to pick up a great victory earlier on in the season against Liverpool at that London Stadium. Do you remember that week, Noel, that I called that?
I do, yeah.
Yes. Come on.
Still haunts me. Right, Mark, give us your front line and your honourable mentions and your manager.
My front two is, the first one was in me combined 11 last week, but I had him in midfield. The Italian magician himself, Gianfranco Zola. We just talked about him there. He's just unbelievable. The tricks he could deal with the ball at his feet, the goals he scored for such a small lad was unreal. So he's my first. My second is on Dazzler's bench. to me, he just brings back so many memories of watching Match of the Day after an old house party of a Saturday night. The goals he scored with his head. He wasn't the tallest player. Scored with his head, scored volleys, you name it. And it's Les Ferdinand I've gone for him. He's starting 11th.
Strong as an ox, Mark, wasn't he?
Just unbelievable. And
he was his chest was huge.
Yeah.
You know, like from back to front, it was like width, you know?
Yeah.
What a bleeding man.
Did he score? He scored a banger of a goal, did he, against United? Did he, for QPR, was it?
Yeah, we beat them 3-2 that day at Loftus Road.
Yeah. But he banged in one from about 30 yards out.
After going through a few of them. That's right.
I'm sure. Do you remember Schmeichel kept him out in St. James's Park that day? He was hitting volleys from everywhere.
Single-handedly.
He was unreal. And like I said, he was great in the air because he wasn't the tallest player either, you know, but he had just a way about him to get in between the two centre halves and get a header in. A
quality flat top. When Bobby Brown and all was cool, he had that quality flat top as well.
You know what?
Look at Darren after jumping up there. Bobby Brown. Did someone mention Bobby Brown?
He still looks the exact same.
Is he still involved in QPR? Is he?
No, he's involved at Spurs now, isn't he?
Is he?
And
he's involved at Spurs now.
And just to put it out there, Bobby Brown doesn't look the same.
Mrs. Brown does. But no, he was
not up our skirt. He doesn't.
Hey. That's for next week's show, lads. So on my bench I have Chewy Louis. Obviously that goes without saying it. I don't like the man, so I won't talk about him too much. And Robbie Fowler is also on my bench because not only the job he done with Liverpool, but he did a job for Leeds when he signed there as well. People kind of wrote him off and stuff like that. So he's on my bench as well.
Very good. Excellent. Just as you mentioned there, Match of the Day and stuff like that, we had one of our viewers actually contacted me during the week and asked me, would we do an episode on Match of the Day and our memories of Match of the Day and stuff like that. So I thought it might be an interesting episode to do down the line. So we'll certainly look into it.
The Des line back in the day.
That's it. I'll go with my front line. So obviously 4-3-3, so 3 up front. So I went with Matt Letizia. The
counting got better than last week, didn't it?
I went 4-3-3 last week as well, didn't I? You just rattled off an American football team there, and you were talking to me about counting. I went with Matt Letizia, obviously. I think some wonderful goals and stuff like that. A man who always looked wrecked even from the minute he came on, but had some skill and some quality and some great goals, great eye for goal. Robbie Fowler, of course, goes in there, near and dear to my heart. Shirt signed over there, ball signed over there, all that kind of good stuff. And I went with Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
Interesting.
Darren's after raising
my drop.
And I went with Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. That's one I wasn't giving away. I was holding zip on that one. But actually, it was funny enough. I looked at that one and I was thinking, geez, I had to check. I was thinking, I couldn't believe he hadn't won a Premier League. But yeah, Jimmy Floyd.
Or as the Chelsea fans call him, Jimmy Floyd Hasselblank, because he drew that quite a number of times as well.
Yeah, but a heck of a baller.
He was a good baller, but I just thought at times he was just pinging them. He didn't care. He wasn't looking for a spot.
They might as well have been going into Rosehead. He was just like, how hard can I hit this ball?
Yeah, but he had big used toys on him, but he just pinged them.
Do you know who would have had in ahead of him? I'll tell you how bad he is. Do you know who would have had in ahead of him? Tony Yeboah.
I don't even want him mentioned.
Marion Parr has.
He upset me a few times.
I bet you he did.
He did. He very much upset me a few times.
Was that against you, wasn't it, in Ellen Road?
Yeah, Monday night football.
David
James, underside of the bar. I'd say that bar at Ellen Road is still fucking rattling at this stage.
Remember his goal against Wimbledon then that season as well?
That was the game before.
Yeah.
That was on the opening day of the season. No, it was the second game of the season, because you know who scored the first week of the season? David Beckham. Scored the long ranger. And the next game, Yeboah did that against Wimbledon. They must have thought, what the fuck is going on?
Neil Sullivan going, what have we
signed up for here?
Yeah, absolutely. So just to run down through the bench. Obviously, I had Brad Friedel in there.
Noel, sorry, I have to just cut you off. There's news in from the AFCON. Parnell Street have beaten North Great Denmark Street 2-1 after extra time.
Were Blanchardstown playing tonight?
Not tonight. They're on tomorrow in the early game.
We will be doing a review of the AFCON, of course, the first round games.
Sound against Adamstown.
But safe to say, the party for Ghana is over.
Your man Lopez off Rovers got man of the match the other night, didn't he?
El Ronnie.
He's playing with. Who's he playing with?
Play centre back, doesn't he?
Yeah, play centre.
I've seen him.
From Crumlin.
Yeah, that's right.
Cape Verde? No, is it Cape Verde?
Yeah, no, it might be Cape Verde.
Yeah. I think he got man of the match the other night. I think he got
one of them shit footballing nations, like. But anyway.
Still right. Like Stephen Chalker, he's playing over there.
Stephen Chalker, yeah, that's right. Scored his England debut.
Yeah.
Stephen Chalker did. Yeah.
And then who's he playing with now? Oh,
he's playing in Turkey, I think, if I'm right.
Yeah, Trabzonspor, I think, or
somewhere like that.
Yeah.
Top of the league, Trabzonspor. I was just looking at the Turkish league last night. Galatasaray are 13th. Did you know?
No, I didn't know.
Be trouble in now Turkey over that one, lads.
But I'm happy. I'm happy to hear it.
Besiktas are about 5th and Fenerbahce are 8th. The 3 big clubs in there getting absolutely buried at this stage. The AFCON this year was sponsored by malaria and COVID. Come over and you can have a case of both.
Jesus. I'll give you my bench anyway now that's all out of the way.
After all that.
Yeah. So as I said, I had Brad Friedel on there. I had Leighton Baines. So I have Kevin Phillips on my bench.
Now, Kevin Phillips, what a footballer. But I will only allow you to have Kevin Phillips on the bench if you put me in tandem with Niall Quinn. Because without Niall Quinn, he was not the same footballer.
No, I don't have Niall Quinn. I do have Gareth Bale and I do have Les Ferdinand. That rounds out my bench. Mark, you didn't give us your manager, did you?
Did we have to do a manager?
Well, you don't have to, but it'd be nice if there was one on the sideline conducting the orchestra.
I haven't even thought of it, but I'd love it if we beat them. Love it.
Nice.
I'd go for Keegan just for bringing Ferguson and the mind games and all that. But I never even thought about that, to be honest with you.
There you go.
Or Graham Souness for signing George Weah's cousin for Southampton, maybe, no?
That's quality.
For signing Julian Dix off West Ham.
Or do you remember he put the Galatasaray flag in the middle of the Fenerbahce pitch? Do you remember
in the centre circle?
Yeah, right in the middle of it.
And the riot police had to stand around him and all.
Yeah. But he loves Pogba. Go ahead.
Myself and Graham stay in the same hotel in Manchester, you know.
Yeah. He's not drinking buddies now.
A few times, you know, and he's not to be messed with, Graham.
Yeah,
there's the restaurant and the hotels. It's quite an upmarket restaurant, you know, and there's security on it and stuff like that. And you know, Graham was having a bit of crack with him and started throwing a few shapes at him. And your man was like, "Get me out of here." He was ex-SAS. He was like, "I'm not having a row with this bloke." You will.
I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, in terms of managers, I think you both covered it there. I had a toss up between Keegan and David Moyes. So yeah, but I think I'll probably go with Moisey because he's still going and he's honourable mention
for Steve McLaren. He did get Middlesbrough to the European Cup final. Let's not forget.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
True, yeah.
And he was the Wally with the brolly.
True.
When he got battered at Wembley 4-2 by Croatia.
And what about Why Hodgson?
Why?
He was a good manager, wasn't he?
No.
Quality.
No, he wasn't.
Did he not get who got Fulham to the
Why did?
It Why? Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Breda Hangland.
Yeah.
And the boy Kamara up front.
I don't care what he did.
Remember he used to score and do that?
Yeah.
About 4 times in a season, yeah.
I used to do that, Wesley.
Yeah, when bodybuilders became footballers, yeah. So that rounds out another good episode. I suppose we should round it out. Did anyone see today that bet that was put on for Granit Xhaka? Anyone notice that today?
No.
Apparently there was a bet laid with, I think, either Betway or Betfair.
Oh, I think I read this. Yeah.
65,000 was put on Granit Xhaka between the 80th and 90th minute in a game to get carded, and he got carded, and it's being investigated.
The FA are investigating. Yeah, I read that there. Yeah, Top Sport.
So that's interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So either someone's in trouble or someone earned a tidy few quid.
Nothing would shock me with Granit Xhaka. I have absolutely gone in 2 foot on him a number of times. And, you know, at this stage, I have to tell you, Arsenal deserve everything that they get from Granit Xhaka because they had numerous opportunities to get him out of their club. And Mikel Arteta, not only is he naming them in squads, he's starting them in teams. Like, cop on, will you? The bloke is an absolute liability. He's going to do you nothing but harm. Get him out of your team, get him out of your squad, and get him out of the country. And back to one of them ragball nations like fucking Albania or something.
Ragball nations.
Fuck out here, will you? Fuck's sake.
You're on fire tonight, aren't you? What's up? The international football upset you. You're putting in a plethora of international lads. You're siding with the FAI now on international picks for combined 11s. Jesus, man.
Champagne football, that's our champagne football.
Were you in those tents at the Galway races with Bertie, or what's going on here? I'm never talking out of both sides of your mouth every episode. What's going on with this, man? But listen, lads, it's been a pleasure having you on. This has been the upper tier, of course. This is your Premier League combined 11 non-winners. Certainly an interesting debate. We will have a number of these shows coming up. We know you viewers are enjoying them at the moment. But if you are enjoying them, of course, hit a subscribe, hit a like, hit a share, drop a comment. Let us know what your combined 11 for non-Premier League winners is. Be interesting to see what your picks are out there and what your allegiance is.
And also, cause if whatever the viewers want us to pick out as well, drop in your comments what shows you'd like to see as well, like, you know.
Yeah, or you can email us at theuppertierpodcast@gmail.com, or you'll get us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Or Dazzler at the afcon.ie.
Yeah, the new ambassador for the continent of Africa promoting football, yeah.
Dazzler will be in Tesco and Parnell Street answering all your questions on Monday morning.
This is the man last week for the preview was so excited about the AFCON.
And what did I tell you? I said, you need to watch this. These referees are absolutely out the front door. And was I right or was I right?
Mark, have you ever walked into a post-match press conference to a player and asked him to get back out on the pitch?
Was 8 minutes still left?
one time down in Selbridge, I think. No. But what was it? He was sunstroke, they're saying now, or something like that, wasn't it? He was suffering with sunstroke.
The sun might have been shining on the watch when he looked at it, so the glare he couldn't see.
But sure, he was suspended in 2018. But sure, we won't talk about that.
Maybe he was using one of those Apple watches instead of a good Android one or something like that.
Hey! Don't knock it.
TikTok,
don't
baby.
Knock it.
TikTok time,
baby.
Well, listen. Till next time, lads. A pleasure as always. We will chat to you again real soon.